Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome back to the Hairy Bash. It's the first quarterfinals of Hairy Bash number 3 for 2014. It is game number 2 between Fenner up the top left side of the map and Mr. Petrify down the bottom right side of the map. And so far, it's been pretty intense, pretty good games. Well, not games, just one game, but so far, yeah, so Petrify definitely taking it out last game. Did a great job. Started off mutiling against Fenner's very, very early Roach and a little bit of Hydra attack. And yeah, the mutilings caught Fenner a little bit by surprise. There was this one great attack where the Lings basically went in, wiped out a whole bunch of Queens that were along with the army, really knocked back the Hydras, and meanwhile, Petrify's own Muta forces were going off against the Roaches. And Fenner sort of had his forces split in half, so the Roaches couldn't get back to kill the Lings in time because they were being attacked by the Mutas, and the Hydras couldn't get at the Mutas. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then Petrify went ahead, shut down the third base of Fenner, and managed to keep his own base alive against Fenner's counterattack. And from then on, it was just a matter of time until Petrify took it all out, did a beautiful job. He eventually switched over to straight up Roach Hydra, and Fenner continued to go Roach Hydra, but he could not get the Hydra numbers out by the end of the game, and Petrify just was in such a good position. Really, really, really good position. Fenner never really got his third base back up after he got taken out by Petrify, and it just went down. So it's been unfortunate, but we know that Fenner is one of those awesome players who can get the job done. And so we will be seeing if Fenner can make it happen in this game. He's already got the expansion out, but then of course, Petrify actually a little bit behind on the expansion, choosing to do it a little bit later. And yeah, we'll see how that works out for him. So Fenner so far, worker numbers are pretty much identical. No crazy buildings being built. There we go. Petrify should be getting a queen out any second to get that second queen out. Are we seeing that? No, saving up for Ling's speed actually, which Fenner is getting as well. So, oh, he's already got the queen over there. So, must have gone for a pull first build, and this is actually the second queen that pops out. So, I thought this was the first, but this was in fact the second. So, very, very interesting stuff there. And yes, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So, let's talk about the other brackets that we have here. So, in the other bracket, opposite this one, it's going to be King Kong versus Arthur. Both extremely, extremely good players. Both seeded higher than Fenner or Petrify is. So when either of them shows up against one of these guys in the semi-finals, it's going to be pretty brutal. And yeah, but those guys going up against each other is going to be a PvZ. Arthur is of course a Protoss player. So always interesting to see in the Hairy Bash tournaments, just players that are not Zerg going off against each other. I think the last one, let me double check, but I think the last one, there was a whole bunch of Protoss and Terran players, but only Zerg made it into the semi-finals. So it's just like 4 Zerg players. Just like, what? So it could happen again. I mean, there is a Zerg in every quarterfinal. So in the third quarterfinal, it's Betrayus versus Hart. Hart is a Terran player. Betrayus, of course, Zerg. And I don't know, man. I mean, Betrayus won the last 2 Hairy Bashes. So I don't think there's any chance that he's not getting to the semi-finals and potentially the grand final. Because he just seems to just absolutely dominate everybody he comes up against. So we will see, though. There's a first for everything. So I would not have picked... I don't know. I would not have picked Fenner winning the first game. Alright, that's maybe... That's just me. I'm doing a bit of a numbers thing where I'm saying, alright, this guy's seated here. This guy's seated there, so this guy obviously has to win. Which is perhaps a little bit unfair because not only are the seeds not a total indication of how good a player is, it's just an indication of how many tournaments they've played. So definitely not a big indication, but I mean, when we're talking about somebody like Betrayus, I think I would be very surprised if he goes down in the quarterfinal. I'd be extremely surprised. So anyway, here we go. Very, very nice stuff from Fenner so far. Getting Lings right into the base. Bunch of Banelings coming out. Looks like there's 2 Lings over there from Petrify are going to take it down. More Lings getting in there. They're getting sort of trapped. trying to take this queen down. A lot of them are going down. The spine crawler is going nuts. And the queen, looks like the queen is going to go down. There it goes. But the Ling forces of Fenner have been taken out for the most part. A bunch of Banelings coming in. So more Lings streaming in. But it does look like Fenner is going to break it off. Oh, he's actually morphing these guys into Banelings using the rest of the Lings to provide cover support. If he can get these Banelings into the worker numbers, he can really start to do a great job. He's morphing Banelings in as he gets more reinforcements right here. So far, looking like he's doing a very good job. And these Banelings, they don't care what the hell they hit right there. They just take out absolutely everything. Even going... Wow, that spine crawler just absolutely owned that Baneling, but a couple more. Oh, very nice play from Petrify. Used 2 Banelings to take out 5 others, and now he has roaches. And suddenly Fenner has to be a little bit more wary about just running in there. Because roaches, on an open field, if you can surround them, Lings have a half-decent chance. In narrow gaps, Lings have no chance at all. They've got absolutely no chance against roaches. So he's just going to have to fall back, but... Fenner is going for the 3rd base, so he's actually got an earlier 3rd base than Petrify this time. Should be pretty awesome. And he's walling it up. I don't know if this is actually going to constitute a wall. I think there's gaps all over the place, but any roaches that do come in there are going to be smacked very hard in the face. And there are actually a lot of roaches, so he's run around them. Moving on in. Great play by Fenner, trying to force this guy back. But all of them going down. There must have been a Baneling in there somewhere. It took them all out, and here we go, the roaches coming out. Base has completed, unfortunately for Fenner, because now he can't cancel it. It is going to go down. Fenner choosing to go for Mutiling in this base, in this game, as opposed to Petrify. It looks like he's happy with roaches for the moment. And yeah, Mutiling is going to be... So it's basically the opposite to what they did last game. Last game, Petrify went for Mutiling, Fenner went for the early roaches, and... You know what? Petrify won, so maybe Fenner's like, you know what? I'll just switch it around, see how this goes. But the spine crawlers are holding for now. I mean, Petrify does not want to kill Lings and spine crawlers at the same time. He can kill one, or he can kill the other, but he can't face both of them. And here they go, all the Lings going down. The roaches sneaking past. Now they're in a beautiful position. I mean, it's going to be a miracle if Fenner manages to destroy them now that they're hidden behind the mineral lines. The bloody Ling's going for it. Oh, the Spire gets sniped very fast. He's managed to get 6 mutas built. And those 6 mutas are going to be invaluable in destroying this amount of roaches. But I think the roaches are pretty much all done for anyway. The workers actually moving over, going to the other base. And yeah, they're moving back. They don't know where to go, actually. I'm not sure where Fenner wants to move them, but... Here they go, the mutas are coming out, they're going to turn around, they're going to take out the roaches ASAP. And I don't think... No, we don't have Burrow for Petrify, so these guys are just going to have to go down there trying to take out the spawning pool. I don't think it's going to happen though. But it's a nice effort anyway, it's a nice effort. So here we go, the roach harassment has gone down the tubes, but my god, did it take ages for those roaches to die. Just did such an awesome job right there. And we are 36 under 49. Mr. Fenner has lost a total of 6 workers, which is not a lot considering how many roaches are in his base, but 6 is still not a good number to have lost. And there we go, the mutas coming out on the map. Hitting the wrong button. So here we go, going to try and do as much as they can. There's Hydras out on the map actually, so Petrify, making sure that his macro keeps up with his playstyle in this game. And it looks like he's got everything very well in hand here. So the Hydras are out to defend against the mutas. The 3rd base is out, ready to get a ton of workers out. He's 52 over 45. Fenner is jumping his macro back up nice and quickly, which is good. Going for the Swarm Host, which is actually going to be a very nice counter against Roach Hydra. But yeah, it's also going to be a counter against the pace of this game, which always suffers drastically when Swarm Hosts start going out on the map. But anyway, we'll just have to do what we can do, because of course I can't go back in time and tell these guys not to go for Swarm Hosts. All I can do is hope that it doesn't end up all ZvZs in the semi-final, because that of course means that it's just going to be Swarm Hosts all over the place. Anyway. Ooh, regeneration of life. We sort of knew that already. The mute is just being used for scouting purposes at the moment. Trying to buy Fenner some time to get those Swarm Hosts up. It's going to be hard to defend against both of these bases with the Swarm Host, but he's going to try. Putting a nice bit of guys over there, getting the Swarm Host behind him is going to be nice. The Overseer does come out. These guys are landing. The Locusts are coming out, and suddenly this is a game of a different type right here. The Roaches are going to sort of soak up the blows, but they are going to take more blows as more Locusts start to come out, and they are going to take quite a decent amount of losses. So there we go, just running away from the Locusts, choosing not to push through them and try and take the Swarm Host directly, which could be an option. There he goes, taking them out, but the Locusts are coming out already. Goes around, going to try and take out the third base. Should be taken out fairly easily. But I think for now, Fenner is going to be okay as far as the main base entrance is concerned. These guys are not going to want to run up there anytime soon. But Mr. Petrify, of course, going to be going for a fourth base ASAP. Great decision to go for that fourth base. He knows exactly what sort of units Fenner is building right now. He knows that his mobility has been severely weakened just by the fact that he's building a Swarm Host. So a fourth base is going to be quite easy to defend right here. And yeah, I mean, there we go. Going around the other side, going to sneak in the backside. Fenner is going to see it. He's going to see this Overseers over there. So he's going to have to run back and sort of defend against that. Is he got these? Yeah, there we go. He's got the Locust sort of pushing in here. Cancelling whatever the buildings those were. I'm sure they were not that important anyway. And here we go, the Roaches coming out. Locust coming around to meet him, but it's not going to stop Mr. Petrify from sniping this infestation pit. And there we go. Further Swarm Hosts are not going to be able to be reproduced. And meanwhile, a little hit squad of Roaches coming around. One Swarm Host spinning his Locust over there is going to cause the Roaches to be a little bit worried. But here we go. It's a double teaming this play from Fenner. He's having a little bit of trouble keeping up with the armies on both sides of the map. Oh man, I hate having coughs. And there we go, the Roach, man. I don't think one Roach can actually take this out. I think it's building too fast, but this thing is on the edge of death and it's nearly completed, so it's got to take like 2 tiny bits of damage for that to be taken out. And man, Fenner not looking like he's in a good situation right now. He's basically consigned himself to staying up the back and being defensive, although these Mutas really doing a great job right here, just taking out quite a fair number of workers. Not a huge amount. Look at this, man. Petrify getting Mutas of his own. He just goes for whatever the hell he wants and just makes it work. So really, really, really nice stuff. And I don't know, man. I mean, all of these Swarm Hosts aside, I don't think that Fenner is looking too good in this game. He's got a third base which is being held together by spit pretty much. It's about to be sniped again. I don't think there's any way he can save this right here. Down it goes. Muta's coming on in, just killing whatever the hell they want. There's a couple of Swarm Hosts here, but not nearly enough. Sorry, not Swarm Hosts, Spore Crawlers. Well, there are Swarm Hosts, so technically I was correct, but yeah, you know how it is. There we go, third base coming down, and Petrify, man, has just been totally on the ball when it comes to taking that third base out and making sure that it doesn't stay alive. He's done a fantastic job, and without that third base, Fenner has really never been able to flourish like I know that he can, like I know that he wants to. So yeah, he's not been able to function all that well without that third base. And defensively, I mean, the Swarm Hosts, they're good, but now that there are a massive amount of Mutas on the map from Mr. Petrify, he's got a lot more freedom to just do whatever the hell he wants. And there we go, sending a ton of Lings in, going in all the way, gets a good look at the Roaches, gets a good look at all of this stuff. And look at this, nearly run out of minerals there, so he's basically just screwed. I would say that Fenner's just absolutely screwed. The Lings going nuts on the workers, taking out a whole ton. We're down 26 under 70. This is just game over right here. The Mutas just have to go in and just destroy everything. He's building a crap ton of Mutas. He doesn't want to fly them all in just in case there's like a ton of Hydras or an Infestor or something like that. But he's almost at that point where he just moves in and just destroys everything with the Mutas. And Fenner is producing a fairly large amount of Hydras. So if he can get a decent attack off on those Mutas, if Petrify does do something stupid, then maybe we can see something happen here. The Roach is coming down, sniping a base. Very, very nice job. I'll take out the workers. There's workers right there, but he's going to be running for his life. And I don't blame him because there's mutas on the map. And if you want to get home before it gets dark, then you need to move fast. And the mutas are chasing the hell out of him right here. Running back, but there we go. Hydra's coming out. And the Hydra's are going to be, yeah, scaring those mutas away. But I'm not sure it really matters because he's still on 5 bases even after losing that other one. So continuing to go for mutas and getting a couple of corruptors as well. So Petrify going for a full air army right here. And I mean, with that many swarm hosts on the map, why wouldn't you go for just pure air? I mean, he's got the numbers, he's got the economy. He can probably just absolutely own all of these guys very, very easily. The only question is going to be the Hydralists and Infestors. If Fenner manages to get Infestors, then it is going to be a very, very different type of game. But for now, I feel like we're just waiting for Petrify to build up enough forces for him to go in and just wipe Fenner out. It doesn't seem like Fenner has enough to really survive this game, to get to a good point. I mean, he's on 2 bases for crying out loud, and Petrify is on 6. That sort of maths does not add up to a victory for Fenner, no matter how you look at it. You can tweak any other variable you want. 2 bases versus 6 bases. The guy with 2 bases always loses. Just always loses. I mean, the skill gap between these two players is not anywhere near large enough for Fenner to still be able to make a victory here. Even if we did say he was better skill-wise, I mean, the macro gap is just too big. And I'm not saying that he's better skill-wise, because definitely it seems like these games are proving that perhaps he is not. And there we go. Good start. These guys are actually not doing anything. We've got a bunch of links coming in the side again. Doing a bit of a scout. Fenner sitting back here, not even attempting to build a 3rd base anymore. So I think he's just sort of given up at this point. I think he's just said, you know what? I got no chance anymore. It's just all going bad. It's all going wrong. And yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is, but he is basically just sitting back, waiting, and Petrify is, no, actually he's pushing out. Gonna move out, see what he can do here. Got a ton of Hydras, got a ton of Swarm Hosts. I was hoping to see some Infestors coming out of him with this Infestation Pit, but no. Infestors would be such a good unit right now, but it might be a moot point if his base gets destroyed right here. So here he goes, moving in. The Muta's coming in over here. What am I talking about? There are Infestors on the map. Why did I not see them? But yeah, they definitely are there. Muta's getting a sweet fungal on them, and then taking out all of the Infestors. Couple of Broodlords over here, like 8 of the damn things. Where is the Overseers? They're all over here, and suddenly it's just over around. Just absolutely over right here. I mean, Hydras are good, but against Broodlords, nah, I would not bet on the Hydras at all. There we go, the Broodlords going for the Hydras, just going to be ripping them apart, and that is pretty much it. I mean, he took out this base, but his entire army is going to be decimated. Really, really not much that Fenner can do at this point other than give the GG. There it is, GG. Fenner just takes the loss there. Petrify takes the victory, and Petrify will be moving on to the semi-finals, and he will be facing either King Kong or Arthur, depending on how they go. So it's going to be awesome, and I look forward to casting that quarterfinal between King Kong and Arthur very, very soon. So I'll catch you guys then. This has been Harry Muppet. Hope you enjoyed this game.